So this morning was definitely a wreck. There was a lot of negativity, and I didn't want to go live earlier this morning. I actually wanted to catch up on some sleep because, I've been putting up Christmas decorations and we have basketball and swimming and all these other things that are going on, and I'm just insanely tired all the time, it seems. But honestly, I couldn't get any sleep because I kept getting notifications. I kept getting notifications from Coinbase, from Crypto.com, from CoinMarketCap, from Kraken, from many of the platforms that I have on my phone, which I have since turned off notifications for all of them, that different prices were hit. And it wasn't in a positive way, right? It was negatively. I was getting things to tell me that liquidation was in order, or you have to get prepared for liquidation, and all of these things. And I was like, what's going on and why are things dropping so much? So I was like, all right, since I can't sleep, I might as well get up and I might as well live stream. Well, this morning was definitely very, very eventful with the amount of decreases that we've seen. The levels of which we did hit. Now, we didn't drop like 50% or anything, but it definitely scared a lot of people to where they're like, this is the bear market. We're in the bear market and we're not going to see any altcoin season, which I don't think is the case, and I think we can talk about it. But what we're going to do in this video is talk about that and primarily talk about the drop and why that did happen, the different factors as to why that does happen. Now, if you guys could, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out some of my links down below. It does help out the channel for Twitter and Patreon. And I have a link for BTCC if you guys are interested in this platform. It honestly is a really good platform to where if you sign up using my link, you'll get a 10% deposit bonus on your first time deposit. You can get extra bonuses up to $10,055, up to 40% lower trading fees. Sorry. And you could trade all the way up to a 500x leverage if you wanted to. I don't recommend it, especially in these markets where we don't really know exactly what will happen. So you might want to trade it a little bit lower leverage, 2x, 3x, something like that. Probably nothing more than a 5x leverage just to kind of secure your profits and secure being wrong to a certain extent. Does that make sense? So anyways, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, check out all those links down below. Now, again, the markets, it wasn't great. And we since saw maybe a little bit of a recovery, but nonetheless, things are still inherently down, right? Bitcoin is down 2.9% today. If we look at overall in the last 7 days, it's down by 12.44%. Ethereum down by 13.81% in the last 7 days. 15.79% for the last 7 days for XRP, 11% for BNB, 13% for Dogecoin, 20% for Cardano, which I think is a steal price, as well as many others that are down double-digit percentages over the last 7 days. And today things have kind of looked like they're going normal because they got to a point where they were low, and they might end up getting to a point where it looks like things are green by the time I post this video, and that's because of the rolling 24 hours, right? It's going to show that price, and as it hits its lowest price, maybe later in the day or in the evening, we'll see it look like it's at a positive if it stays at these prices. Now, overall market cap, we're looking at a $2.88 trillion market cap. Fear and greed index, which is very important, is at 11. So extreme fear. Altcoin season is at 25, nowhere near altcoin season. And then it's oversold right now at 38.34 on the RSI, which I think it probably should be a lot lower. Now, many people have asked me, right, what is attributing to this? Like, what's the reason we're seeing crypto fall so much? And I'll go into what Google AI has to say about it, and I'll talk about it a little bit. So one, they're thinking about the record outflows. There have been record outflows of Bitcoin ETF. You see Ethereum ETF. I think it was like $900 million that was outflow in a single day. Massive liquidations. So when you do see those outflows and you see the negativity, liquidations happen, and then it creates more negativity. And then what happens? You have extreme fear, where the fear and greed index is around 11. So people are afraid. And that goes with a lot of the comments. They're like, look, it's not altcoin season. We're never going to see altcoin season. It's over. Sell all your crypto. That's what I was getting time and time again in the chat. But a lot of the positive people weren't really about that. But there were people every, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes that would come in and be like, look, it's over. Altcoin season's not happening. Sell all your crypto. Get out now. I'm not that type of person, right? Invested for more of the long term. Bull market to bear market to bull market to bear market. I will always have crypto in my possession. I don't plan on selling all of my crypto just because it's a bear market. I plan on adding some to it and then consistently getting in on the lows as well as being able to sell on the highs. If you try and do that where you're getting in and getting out, you may miss out on a complete altcoin season and an explosion. Now you're chasing it. Now you're buying at the high and you're selling at the low, meaning that you're losing money consistently. So I don't agree with the fact that altcoin season is over. I think altcoins still haven't run yet. You have a lot of things that may have made decent moves, like a XRP or a Solana or a BNB have made recent moves to hit new all-time highs, but I still don't think that's the end of their story, as well as the end of something like an ADA or like an AVAX or like a Cosmos that hasn't experienced the level of breakouts that we know they should have. So in my mind, this is still wide open. In my mind, I think we can make a lot of money, and today I decided to buy cryptocurrency, right? Things dropped to low levels. SUI dropped to a very low level. So I have never had SUI. I've always wanted it. And I thought anything below, maybe a $1.50 price point would be a steal for buying SUI. So I decided that I'm going to buy it. I bought 2,000 coins of SUI today. And that's because I, one, really liked it and wanted an entry point. Two, I feel as though the market is at a low point, and three, it hasn't fully broken out or fully shown its true levels of where it can get to. Right? There's a lot left, a lot of meat left on that bone. If you think that SUI and XRP and ADA and Litecoin and Solana and BNB and all of these altcoins are not going to experience record growth. Maybe not in the fourth quarter. It could be a big December, like some people predict, or it could be the first quarter. The one thing that I tend to do, and I think you guys can get on board with this because it does lead to success, is think more long term. Instead of like, oh, I want to see the fourth quarter explode and make all this money. I mean, if you want to make all the money and pay taxes immediately, then fine, go ahead and do that, right? I would rather get to the new year and have all these gains and then pay taxes in the next year, right? I would love to have that gap in between rather than just giving away my money right from the start. I'd rather make money on the money that I'm going to give away so that I can have more money in the end. That's kind of my plan, but you can do whatever you want. I think that the best case scenario is changing your mindset, believing that you can invest for the long term and invest in something from bull market to bear market to bull market to bear market. It doesn't mean that you have to hold all of it. It just means that, if you want to take your profit as it's at a bullish price point, take some profit. You don't have to take all of it, but take some profit. And then when you see the bear market or you see something happen, don't get upset about the fact that things are decreasing. Stay in it, find entry points at the lows, and then work your way on up. That's how markets have historically moved, and that's how I will treat the crypto market. It's just a slight bit more volatile for the crypto market, which makes you feel like you're losing absolutely everything. But we're still at about a $3 trillion market cap, so it's nothing that I'm afraid of, and I will continue pushing. Let me know what you think about this, about the news in crypto, about where we stand, what was the reasons why things fell, and if we're going to actually see altcoin season in the next year or so. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.